Welcome back, everyone. I am Lavon Blue, and I want to know, what are you watching? Hey guys, so if you've seen the series finale of Game of Thrones, you already know why we're here. Now, I have to be honest, I have a lot to say about this episode, but if I were to do that, this video would be like an hour long. So to keep things going and make this video as short as possible, I am going to touch on the topics that I was most disappointed about. So for starters, I did expect to be disappointed for two reasons. So the first reason, there really wasn't any coming back for Dany after burning down King's Landing, children included, especially after the bell was rung and they surrendered. But I was hopeful. The second reason, I did something that I never do. I got word that there was a leak, and I got curious, and I kind of wanted to prepare myself for the excruciating pain that this episode might put me through. So I did cave and I read everything. And I have to say, as I was watching last night's episode, I was literally, it was like a checklist, because I was literally checking off everything that was accurate in the leak. For starters, we see Tyrion walking through the ruins, or what I should say, what's left of King's Landing and the Red Keep. And he happens to stumble upon Jaime's gold hand, and then all of a sudden, uncovers his sister and his brother, who are lovers, and they died in each other's arms. I have to say, I'm not surprised that Tyrion was emotional. I mean, I do believe a lot of those tears were for Jaime, the one sibling or the one family member that actually cared for him. I think he said, was it a few episodes prior, or maybe I think it was the episode prior, that, if it wasn't for him, he wouldn't have survived his childhood. I believe that a lot of those tears were for him, not so much his sister Cersei. But also, I mean, it is medieval times and death is part of the process. And I feel like even though Cersei is evil and pretty much tried to kill him many, many times, it was just, he was looking down in that moment and realizing the fact that he is the last Lannister left and he has no one else, no other blood left. Because in this series, they make it a point to exaggerate the fact that family is everything and you have to be loyal to family. Next we have Daenerys. I mean, I have to say, what the writers did with this character was the biggest letdown of them all. I mean, for 7 seasons, they built her up from girl to woman, showing us that she's the one that's going to save them all from the grips of the Lannister reign, only to tarnish everything she's ever done in a few episodes just for what? Wow factor? That's mind-boggling to me. And if we're going to talk about Dany, we have to talk about Jon. Now, I'm not sure at what point he decides he was going to kill her. Maybe it was sometime during the whole speech that she was giving about freeing more people in other parts of the country. And I'm guessing during their loving embrace and kiss, he decides, you know what, this is the moment. It's the only time I have. And then that's when we all hear more, I believe it's more hear than see, the stab to the heart. I mean, she didn't even sit on the throne, man. Like, really. Like, why the hell wasn't she guarded in the first place? She always has guards around her. whether it was the people that Dario led. I don't know if they're the seven sons, whatever. No matter who it was, she always had someone by her side. Now, I know her key people died, but literally Jon is able to go bypass her dragon because he's a Targaryen and he's automatically on the trusted list. Okay, but there's no one else in there. She doesn't even sit on the throne, and then boom, she's dead. So you mean to tell me that the woman who has literally walked through fire is killed by a knife? Really? And what was the purpose of bringing Jon back from the dead? Like, I mean, for what? And then was knowing that he's a Targaryen, that's like, feels like worthless information at this point. I mean, as I go on with this review, you'll see why, but I mean, it's pointless. I mean, Jon's storyline was so powerful and heroic, and for him to be sent back to the wall, are you friggin' kidding me? This is what you do to the protagonist of your story? Like, seriously? Well, I guess the joke is on them, because as we see towards the end of the episode, Jon, Tormund, and Ghost, as well as the rest of the Wildling crew, is headed north of the wall, so good luck to him. So next, we reach the scene where everyone, or I should say the important people, are gathered, where they're all, I guess, going to make a decision about the fate of Tyrion and Jon after their treasonous acts against the queen. And let's just skip right to it. They made Bran king, y'all. The one who wants for nothing at all, they made him king. If I remember correctly, a few episodes ago, actually, Tyrion and Bran, Tyrion, the same one who's now pretty much electing him to be the new king, had a conversation with him a few episodes prior. And they were talking about, Bran being the Lord of Winterfell. And he's saying, and I quote, in his annoyingly calm voice, "I don't want anymore." Help me make that make sense. Please. The next person I want to talk about is Arya. The character that saved all of their asses is now going to end up seeing what's west of Westeros. This is the end that you give your savior? The girl who can change faces. The girl who can fight blind. The Houdini of the show. The girl who killed the Night King. And since we're talking about Arya, we have to talk about Sansa. I don't really have much to say about her character. I mean, she's now queen in the north. And I mean, I'm sure Ned and Catelyn would be proud. I mean, hopefully she can do some good during her reign. That's all I have to say about her. I think I'm still in shock because I just can't believe that fans waited for 2 years for everything to end the way it has. And I mean, like, I want my time back. I have to put that out there. But, I have to say, despite the fact that this season severely stressed me out, and I know I'm not the only one, I am glad to have watched, such an epic piece of television history. But man, like, you could have done your viewers a lot better than this. Like, why? Once again, I am Lavon Blue. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you agree with me that this episode was a huge letdown. Actually, this season was a huge letdown, but you did enjoy the series as a whole. Also, leave a comment below with any shows or films that you would like for me to watch and review, because as you know, I always want to know, what are you watching?